And yeah, man, we are live. Yes.
Yeah, here we go. A little intro music here. The demon.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, we already. So I can even do this. So if we get anything. So I can even do this.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. We're here. We're here. We are live. It's Grandaddy week.
Grandaddy week.
Yeah,
when
man.
was the last time we did this?
Morgan
Cup?
Morgan Cup.
Yeah, man. Morgan Cup is and so when the big events happen, 3-man booth comes out. Illiterate, chef, we're all here. We're gonna talk. We're gonna sit here and really talk Grandaddy for the most part. Preview what you're gonna see tomorrow probably, and we are also in the live thread. So if you are gonna join us, stay in the live thread. We're waiting for pairings as we speak, but until we get to those pairings, we're gonna do a little bit of Grandaddy talk about what today's like, etc. I've got a Morgan Cup legend with me who knows team competition and chef. I've got a THP champion in Illiterate here, and of course I have played in the 2017 version of this event. So I'm really looking forward to this. So let's go through and Mike, turn it over to you, dude. Let's talk about fitting day, man.
Well, let's talk about fitting day. And since you are the only one of the 3-man booth here that has gotten to actually go through the fitting, talk to us about what that day is like. What did these guys just experience today from your point of view?
Fitting day is the best day of the Grandaddy. Okay. Like by far, 100% fitting day is awesome. Okay. And the cool thing about fitting day is that there's still hope springs eternal, right? Everyone is a stripe show on fitting day. You get there, you wake up in the morning, you go straight to the performance center. In my case, I went through a putter fitting first, which was great. I mean, you've seen my putter. You can't even make my putter on the garage, right? Like Sean Toulon fit me for my putter. I loved it. And you get with a fitter, and basically they start looking at your swing a little bit, and they fit you into whatever they think is going to work. And in my case, they were trying to lower the ball flight a little bit, and they were also trying to lower spin. So everything that Garrett did, from the shaft selection, the club selection, etc., was to get the ball flight down and to lower my spin. And fortunately for me, my best swinging day was on fitting day. Now, I do have one funny story about wedge fitting, right? So after I get fit for my irons, I go over to the wedge area. And so like the X grind is very sexy. Okay, so these were MacDaddy 4s, was the offer at the time. And so I grabbed a 58X and was and took a couple swipes with it. And I heard a voice from behind me say, "Put that down." And because I had rolled, I mean,
it was Sean Toulon, right? Or no, it was Roger Cleveland.
No, it was Roger Cleveland. So Roger Cleveland says, "You need to put that down. That's not for you." So he ends up handing me a 58 C grind. He watched me chip a little bit. We went with an S grind, a C grind, and it blew my mind. I was like, "Oh, this is the greatest experience ever." And then there's a quick turnaround. So you go from fitting sheets go in to build. Then you go back to the hotel. You quickly get your stuff. You change. You get on the bus ride. The bus ride is phenomenal. And you ride out to the desert to check into your next hotel. And then you're going to go to Owls at night, which is the highlight of any of the Grandaddy trips. This house, if you're looking at it on the live thread, is awesome. And
so wait a minute. So speaking of the drive to Owls, we actually had a member of Team THP get left at the hotel today?
Yes.
How does that happen?
My man Sizzle somehow got left. You do a head count and hope for the best, I guess. We had Cobra, and we all had buddies. So my job was to make sure Cobra got to where he was supposed to be. Okay, so not only did I have to get us there on time, I had to make sure that Cobra got to where he needed to be on time, and he still was late. He held up the bus. Okay, a couple years ago, the Rallo, they waited for 35 minutes before they went to aisles for him. He was so late. So I have no idea how he got left, to be honest with you. I have absolutely no idea, but he did get left. And
the two accountants got left. I mean, like, they messed up the counting. 2 accountants on the team, right?
Yeah. Two accountants.
Yeah.
Head count.
I'm going to have my taxes done by them next year.
Oh, I'm sure. So, but fitting day is probably the best day. And then pairings come out that night.
There we are.
Do we have them?
Boom, they are live on the pairing.
I'm scrolling the live thread. I'm scrolling it right now.
Okay. Bo Shizzle. Shout out to OU Magic on joining us here in the live.
What's up, OU Magic? Boomer.
What is up? What is up? Buddy system. Absolutely. I don't understand how that happened. There's your comment, Magic. I love that. If you're gonna comment in the thread, we have one person watching us. Feels like the podcast was like 83. I have the pairings on the board.
The cult of one.
The cult of one, baby. The cult of one. Let's see. So I have the pairings on the board. Before we get to that, let's switch any surprises from the bag setups, right? So I watched all day.
Well, let me just ask you, do you think Garrett is the same person that fitted Jordan? Because, when you talked about going through your fitting, it was to lower the ball flight. Let's get some, a little bit less spin. Jordan, interestingly enough, 3 degrees weak, so what was your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I don't know what that really says about the Epic Ford's standard lofts, but it may say something, right? Because he wasn't the only person that had to go weak that took that set. There was someone else didn't really write it down, but they went 2 weak. So maybe it's something with that set. They were trying to get it to gap right. That wasn't the biggest surprise. The biggest surprise to me was No Shanks taking the muscle back. I mean,
that was interesting.
Chef, you played under Morgan Cup pressure.
Yeah.
Which is probably very similar to Grandaddy pressure. What would you? I mean, you're an exquisite ball striker. I've seen you. Would you have taken muscle backs for something like this?
There is 100% chance that I would absolutely not take muscle backs for something like this. My game is like is the yin and yang. It's either really good or it's really, really bad. And so muscle backs, I couldn't do it.
Well, I mean, so that was a little bit of surprise. If we get into that was the only thing that really surprised me. One of the issues and this happens with the team, you get asked a lot of questions when you're there and you can't say anything. You sign a non-disclosure. You can't really talk about the gear. You can talk about what the gear did for you, but you can't talk about the mechanics of the gear, right? The tech of the gear. A lot of that is proprietary. They don't want it to come out. They're going to wait for launch. You're getting pre-launch gear. So a lot of these guys got to whatever the new driver is, whatever the new woods are. But I saw some tremendous TrackMan numbers today out of that driver. Like really good swing ball speeds, swing speeds, carries of 280 coming out of this. In a rollout of the total yardage 300s. Now, some of these guys are exquisite ball strikers, like I said. This is the most single digits that probably Team THP has ever rolled into this event with. So, Yeah, I mean, so the new gears looked like it helped a bunch of people. So I wasn't really surprised. That usually is what's going to happen with this type of gear.
Anything jump out at you, Chef, as far as the bag setups, other than what Dax mentioned?
He talked about the muscle bags, but what caught my eye most was the amount of forgiveness, right? So as we're all internet golfers, right, and we think we can swing the stiffest shaft and take everything 3 degrees strong and just, kill it, is that there was a lot of forgiveness in this year's setup from what I was seeing. Across the board, a lot of I know Captain McLovin, he even threw a hybrid in the bag, which he's never been a hybrid person, I believe.
There was a couple of super hybrids.
Super hybrid?
Yeah.
There was a couple guys took that super hybrid. I've never been a hybrid I didn't want.
Yeah, I played with him in September. Him and Sizzle were in town and we played. And he was like, I was like, hey, you want to hit this hybrid? And he was like, nope. Like he was anti-hybrid, but I mean, he just killed it today. So that was huge.
It sounds maybe something similar like, Dax putting a utility iron into the bag, on fitting day.
Dude, I hit the ball.
Killing somebody.
I hit the ball so well on fitting day, they put a utility 4-iron X4s in my bag, and I crushed that thing. And then 24 hours later, I almost killed D-Nebs with a hosel rocket off of this 4-iron, right? So sometimes if your swing from fitting day does not translate to the next day, that it's a little bit of an issue, because I really wanted a security blanket for hybrid, because Mike knows that's usually my security blanket club, and I didn't have it the entire time I was there. Although Mr. Finley was nice enough to send me a Rogue 4 hybrid after the event was over and after he beat me down. So hats off to him for that.
It's a party.
Just a note, Dax has never seen a hybrid he doesn't like.
No, and at one point in us golfing together, we've been golfing together for almost a decade, right?
Yeah.
At one point, I carried 3 hybrids.
I've got 2 in the bag, so I can't hate on you.
I have 2 in the bag right now.
He had a 3, 4, and 5 hybrid in the bag at one point.
Yeah, at one point I've carried. I loved. Let's see. Tomcat took a bunch of woods. I think that he had 3, a 5, a 7.
Was there the Divine 9? Did that come out today?
No, I mean, I was hoping that someone would take a Divine 9. I have fallen in love with the Divine 9 at a Callaway demo day before. It just couldn't bring myself to put it in the bag, but I would have.
Apparently, Newgarth put a 9 wood and 11 wood in the bag this week.
So there's a couple things. I'm not really surprised though. Most people are going to come out of fitting day and they're going to be really, really happy with the makeup of their bag. So no surprises there.
All right. Well, hey, let's talk. You're a math guy. What does the math tell you about this year's events? How does these teams match up on paper?
Well, I mean, on paper, the Zoo Crew is I posted an opening number, right?
Minus 900.
Yeah, minus 900.
And it even drew some action in the forum. We got a bet already.
Yeah, we have an even money bet. That's going on the odds thread. So check that out, because that's great. But if you look at the combined caps, the Zoo Crew comes in at 7.2. This is actually, even though they have some new faces on this team that didn't play in previous Granddaddies, this is a lower combined cap. This is one of the strongest teams they've ever rolled in here with. Tony Toulon at the top, scratch. They have 3 2 caps in this with Luke and Tyler and Steven, and then you get Ian and Finley in the 5s. Ethan's an 8. D-Nev's 8. You have to go. Jeff's a 9, Matt's an 11. If I was on the Zoo Cruise team, Finley's, if he watches this ever, he's going to roll his eyes because they would never have me. But if I was on the Zoo Crew, I would be the 11th lowest handicap, and so would you, Mike, for that matter. If that just sort of tells you the power overall of the Zoo Crew. Lexi comes in as a 20. But they're really, really good. They're stout. Team THP counters a combined cap of 11. But the top 2/3 of Team THP are stout on paper. Stout. There's 2 scratch golfers in here. Big Sky Irish and No Shanks. No Shanks took the muscle backs today, by the way. That's who we're talking about. Rady Man 2. Z Beaker, Zach's a 4. Snicker Dogs a 5. The Captain McLovin 7. Sizzle, free Sizzle, save Sizzle, whatever. Doesn't matter. He comes in as an 8. And then Jordan 13. Battle 16. JMB 320. And then Clark Griswold going to Wally World. Jay he's a 22. Tomcat comes in as a 33. So as I went through that, the top 2/3 of these 2 teams are very, very close. And it's really the bottom portion, the bottom third of the teams where the distance starts to separate. If you take the bottom third of the Zoo Crew, their combined cap's a 13, highest being a 20. If you take the bottom third of Team THP, their combined cap's a 23. Highest cap there's a 33. So pairings are going to be of the utmost importance here. How does Captain McLovin, how does Assistant Captain Mike G, how do they mitigate some of their disadvantage on the last third of this, right? There's ways of getting around it. There are. Okay. And when we talk Morgan Cup or we talk Strixon, well, Strixon was different. All y'all were single digits. There's ways of getting around this, right? Yeah. But you got to be bold with it because Captain Finley has got a lot of options. Let's be honest, right? He does. I mean, he's got the stronger team on paper. He's got an ability to maybe move some things around. He's going to be able to put out some strong pairings right out of the gate. And what does McLovin do? And we have the pairings up right now.
Well, did you see the first round format? What we're rolling into?
I don't know. Have they given the formats?
Well, I mean, I listened to the ship show earlier, and apparently there's like some sort of
we have a
new switch up with the format.
Yeah,
I've never done before.
Yeah, I was just reading. It's going to be a horse race.
So who does Finley draw tomorrow? So Finley goes out with Jeff. And Finley,
Jeff Newbarth with the 9 wood, the 11 wood.
Yeah.
I love it already. Give me that.
I like it too.
Anybody taking action on Finley and Newbarth tomorrow? Because I'm betting on them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll after this is over, I'm gonna do some studying. I'll post, depending upon format, I'll post individual match odds in the same odds thread. But I mean, Finley goes out with Jeff. That's sort of a low mid, and then they draw JMB3 and Snicker Dog.
Snicker Pops.
Right. So he goes out. Yeah. You misread that, Sean. No, Finley would actually get in that scenario. So you've got, I don't know, like. Here's how. So I mean, I guess we'll go to it. I mean, I was waiting on the pairings. I don't know. I'm looking at it. It looks like
the Dog's a 5 for you, Magic.
Well, I mean, it looks like Captain McLovin went for balance here because he sends Tomcat out with Z Beekner. Sorry. He sends him out with Zach. They try to balance that out a little bit. He sends James JMB3. He sends him out with Snicker Dog. Clark goes out with No Shanks. So it looks like he took some of his lower caps and put.
Who's my man Jordan in Michigan, or Jordan from Michigan? Who's he paired up with?
He's going out with Badol. So I like that pairing though. 13.
That's a good pairing.
13, 16, and they draw Matt and Steve. They draw an 11-2. So they're going to get – Jordan's going to get pops tomorrow.
I like where THP came out with their first opening team, man.
Yeah, I like sizzle. I mean, you know me, I'm a big sizzle mark, right? So I've been a sizzle mark since the Morgan Cup he played in. Yeah, I mean, so it looks like Team Callaway it looks like Captain Finley did something very similar. They send Luke out with Lexi. D-Nevs goes out with Tony.
That's an interesting pairing because Luke's a bomber too, and Lex. I don't know what the tee, like the women's tees versus the tees that they would play at the course there, but you got to.
Have they announced?
Maybe Lexi's got a good short game.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see in the short game scenario. Does this look like they went for balance here? That I probably.
Well, how would you have paired it up here? If this is you, like if you're the captain,
I hate
the cap. How would you pair up this team?
I don't like the Monday morning quarterback. There's two rules. There's sort of two rules of thought as it relates to pairings. You can go out and try to balance it, and that's what it looks like they've done here. You can also go out and try to throw a couple Papapalooza pairings and try to get you a half, right? So one school of thought, and I've watched Canada do this twice actually. Win a Grandaddy and he won a Morgan Cup doing it, where he threw some Papapalooza pairings out there, went strength on strength, and was able to win both of those events. So that's one school of thought. I'll probably subscribe to that school of thought where, hey, let's let your pops work for you in a couple of these pairings. You throw the 16 and the 33 together, you throw the 20 and the 22 together, and you hope you get halves, right? Because tomorrow there's 18 points available. Okay, 15.5 wins the Grandaddy.
Mm-hmm.
So you only have 12 points available in singles. And so if you don't get out to a good start, last year's team jumped them. They jumped them. They were up 5-1 out of the first stanza, right? But they only won 2 points the rest of the day. So we went to bed after day one. They still had a chance. Singles mattered again. Unlike us, we got boat race. It was over on day one. But they were in a huge
hole. I would call it skull drag, but okay.
All right. No, we did get skull drag. They were in a huge, huge hole, right? And that's very hard to do with only 12 points available, right? You've got to make hay in the 3 stanzas of the first day. You have to get points there. And you know what? If we're here tomorrow night and it's 10-8 us, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. We're popping corks 10-8 us, right?
Popping cork.
Or 9-9. Well, a 9-9 split is really what you're kind of looking for.
Even at 10-8, damn. That's pretty good.
Well, yeah, even 10-8, 11-7. Like when last year's team jumped out to the 5-1 lead, 11-7 was not what was in the cards. They only won 2 points the rest of the next 2 sessions, right? And that is a big issue. The other thing I do like, though, so I subscribe to more the throw some pops out there, go strength on strength, try to get some wins with your single digiters, and then try to grind out some halves with your pops. But this is fine too. So there's 2 really ways of doing it, and then they went for balance here.
Yeah. Chef, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm looking through the pairings and Dax and Mike. Even regardless of pops, right? Say it all balances out one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing, especially playing for a course like the Hideaway, right, is the greens, like short game, right? Everything from 100 in, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're gonna have to putt.
Yeah, the putting is huge, right?
You got to make putt.
With the balance of the setups, man. I'm kind of digging the balance that we have right now, and you save that Papapalooza for another round, maybe the second stands.
Curb stomp.
It looks to me though that they're going to keep them together, and I was about to say that, and I do like that though. I like the Captain Frank did that last year. He kept them together. One of the things I didn't like, by the time Cobra started finding fairways with me, we switched. So like, whatever. So I think that you have to go. Maybe they find a rhythm. Maybe people find a rhythm here, and keeping them together. There's a benefit to that. I think, and we've seen that at either Granddaddy's or Morgan Cups. There is a benefit to keeping these guys together.
What was it you told me? You kept asking Cobra, where do you think it crossed out of bounds?
Okay, so God, I have to take a sip of water for that. Okay, so the second Sansa in our event, and I haven't seen the format posted yet, so I'm still waiting on it. Was a modified version of alternate shot Pinehurst.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to play Cobra's drive. Cobra did not find the fairway. My job. The first day, I didn't miss a fairway. You can ask Cobra; he'll come in and post it, man. He'll tell you I didn't miss a fairway the first day. And was the term we used. Yes, J-Lou. But when we got the alternate shot, he couldn't find the fairway, and it was going out. Like it was going into hazards, it was going out, and so we knew where my ball was, and I would have to ask him where he thought his ball crossed the hazard, and then make the drop. And I was always hitting 3 in the Pinehurst situation, so I wasn't really a factor.
It happens.
It happens to the best of. I don't
call it the sorry man format. Sorry man.
I think that they're going to have to get for us to win. Jordan's key, that Jordan pairing's key, because that's a pairing that's going to get pops, and if they can play, and they're going to get pops in probably every format against Matt and Steve. So
yeah, I've seen Jordan play. Jordan's got game. He's a lot like me in the sense where it's a head case thing. He's got to trust his swing, and he said he's swinging the best he had coming into this. So
he was popping that 5-wood like 240 today during the fitting.
Yeah,
he's got. I think there's a reason that they. If I remember one thing about our fitting from shaft up is that he was hitting his irons further than me, but my swing speed's much higher than his. So there could be something to this 3 degrees weak thing that they fitted him in today. But I think he's going to play well.
Well, man, the other big pairing to me is Big Sky and Sizzle.
Yeah. With the muscle backs.
Right. Big Sky didn't get the muscle backs. It was no shanks.
That's right.
Big Sky and Sizzle, he's sending a 1 and an 8 out together against Luke and Lexi. And in that particular case, depending upon the exact format, that's going to be probably pretty even. And they need to win some points there too.
They're going to have to hit greens in that group, right? Like, yeah. I don't know everybody else's game, but I think like if they're missing greens and it's all short game chipping, I think that's when THP becomes in trouble.
Yeah, and dude, it's short game there though. Like a lot of these guys have come from parts of the country where they probably haven't been able to practice outdoors. Greens are probably in less than ideal shape, and then they're going to go to the hideaway, and it's going to be like putting on porcelain. And which team?
There's not a blade of grass out of place.
Right. It's they have drink ninjas. They have everything's great. Drinks are flowing.
Talk about the comfort stations for a minute. You've seen this firsthand.
Yeah, the comfort stations are awesome. Like I'm gonna say something that's blasphemous. I enjoyed the comfort stations more than the sliders. Okay, and mainly because
you're going to catch. I don't know. Are you going to catch more heat for that comment or the 8 and 6? I don't know.
I don't know, because that obviously a lot of people love the sliders, and believe me, I did. I had the sliders. So it wasn't like I no sold them, but comfort stations have tacos, man. I mean, And you can beat that, you know, when you're rolling through a round and you got drinks flowing. Funny thing about drinks is that, so speaking of putting and catching fire, so our opening stanza was Shamble. Okay. So Cobra and I were against AJ. Who did we play? We played AJ and Pete. Anyway, we were even par through 4, and we were down 4. AJ made everything he looked at.
Yeah.
Like everything that he looked at, he made, and we weren't making putts. We couldn't make a putt, but we were making pars, and pars were not enough. And it happened. And when we finished the first 18, we go into best ball, and it looks like just the shell shock of what was going on. Everyone looked like what just happened, right? They made putts, man.
Yeah.
Oh, we do. Okay, yeah. We have a surprise format, horse race surprise format day.
How does the horse race work?
So I was just looking up about it, right? So it doesn't count towards the cup, though.
Okay.
It doesn't count towards it. Winning team gets $250 in Travis Matthew gear.
Is the horse race's side action?
Yeah.
Okay, so
how does it work?
So let me pull it back up here. Everybody's going off of 1. After that, one team will drop. Then the next low X amount will proceed on to the next hole, and they'll play down. I had it here just a second ago.
So I'm reading on the live thread, horse race.
All 12 teams play hole 1. Low 8 move on to hole 2. 4 teams in advance, and so on until there's 1 team left. Winning team will get $250 in Travis Matthew apparel.
Huh.
Nice.
A little side action right there.
Side sauce. I like that. It doesn't go. Look at J-Lou helping us out, helping us follow the live thread. We have a cult of 3 viewers right now, so that's awesome.
Strong. That's strong showing.
Strong. Yeah, look, man, 4. We're up to 4. Strong showing. Love it. I'll move on to the next banner. Any advice?
What's your advice for the team, Dax? I mean, you guys have played in the Grandaddy, so what's your advice?
We're in the worst singles match loss of all time. But I'm not that bad.
Dax, experience is experience.
Right. I mean, sometimes those that can't do teach, right? That's so here's what I would say. You don't say you're sorry. Okay, so you're in a team format. You're playing different formats, and one of these is going to be some sort of variant of alternate shot, probably, right? And then that leads to an added pressure, right? Because you don't want to be the guy that puts you out of bounds, especially if it's straight up alternate shot, right? Like we played at the THP championship. The 9 from hell that we played at the talking stick, right?
The beast in the heat.
Yeah, the beast in the heat. We're somehow
about where I came unhinged at.
Yeah, where you came unglued and I was still.
You were sitting in the clubhouse drinking mimosas.
Yeah, watching LSU beat Auburn, by the way, which was the highlight of that week because me and Camp Allo Baxter could not get it going until the final 9 until we were out of it. But don't ever say you're sorry. Okay, so at one point in Pinehurst, after the 3rd T-ball goes out of bounds, okay, and I'm not gonna lie because I'm a little perturbed because we're actually in this match. We got blown out of that first match, but we're sort of in the second match somehow, okay, because Cobra's actually doing a decent job with my T-ball because he's basically shot me out of it, right? And he just he drops his head and he says, Dax, I'm sorry. And then I slammed the brakes on the cart, and it's like one of these boom. And I look at him and said, don't apologize to me. We look around. We just got a free bag of clubs. We are playing in paradise. Don't ever apologize. What would you be doing at home?
Mm-hmm.
Don't apologize. Have fun. Don't worry about it. It will work itself out. If you go there thinking that you have to win to enjoy the experience, well, then you need to reevaluate how you're looking at this experience, because it's not about winning or losing. Now, we talk a lot about the competition, okay? And the reason that we talk a lot about the competition on videos like this or my odds thread is because there's only 80 some odd people that know what it's like to go to the Grandaddy, okay? That honestly.
Yeah.
There are hundreds, almost 1,000 people at some points watching that thread. What is the one thing that everyone that is watching can relate to? It's competing, okay? Because we're all golfers. We compete either in our regular Sunday game, we're playing Nassau's, or we're competing against par. We're competing against the course. So it's not about the competition. It's about the camaraderie. It's about the relationships. It's about the experience. But the problem is that only 80 some odd people on that forum can relate to the experience. And we spend a lot of time talking about the competition when the Grandaddy is not even about the competition. It has a competition component to it, but it's not about the competition.
Right.
I lost 8 and 6 and do not give two shits.
Well, you never hear the end of it, which speaks to it, right? It's not about the competition.
Unless no one remembers who was on that Grandaddy. Everyone remembers my 8 and 6. It's immortal. It's immortal.
You always remember your 12.
Right. Look, but it is more fun to win, right? I mean, winning's fun. The only people that say they don't care about winning shouldn't try to compete either. So yeah, you want to win, but my advice to the team would be, it's not really about winning, it's about enjoying the experience. And if you do get down, don't let the fact that you may be losing the competition take away from you soaking the experience in, because that's a mistake. It's a once in a lifetime thing. You're not going to get to go back.
Yeah. Chef, what's your advice? I mean, you've competed in something similar, but
it's different, right? So like in your mind, you have it set up as one way, is that it's the experience, the competition, and then you get there, and then like Dax was saying, is that it's about the camaraderie. I mean, even whenever we played, the three of us played at the THB Championship, right? I hadn't met you guys till then, and then it's boom, here you go. You want to win because every time you tee it up. I mean, it's human nature, right? But it's going to be who just plays their own game and just enjoys it, right? If you go out there and start trying to grind on first tee box, you're going to get 8 and 6.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
why do we have to use 8 and 6? Why can't you use like 5 and 4 or something?
7 and 5, if you're more familiar with that analogy.
Right.
But relaxing and playing, right? So these guys got a brand new set of sticks. They've hit, a dozen balls, like combined total with their final setup, right? Once it's finally tweaked, it's just being able to trust it and go out there and play and have fun. Right?
Some people on my team left the performance center without knowing what their carry yards was. Like, it was a mistake. They didn't think about it, but they got out there. And I'll tell you this, even when I hit good shots on that Sunday, I never trusted the yardages. Like, and I even knew what they were supposed to be, and never trusted. I mean, I watched J-Lu like airmail, like, and he'd look at me and goes, "I didn't think it would go that far." And like, we'd be over the green, and now he's probably going to lose the hole to AJ, right? And or I would come up short. They had look. If you're going to think about this from a competition standpoint, the Zoo Crew has some inherent advantages, right? I'm going to go back to Sean's comment here. A lot of them have played the course, both courses. One, they're playing their own gear too, and they haven't had the emotion whirlwind. The Grandaddy is an exhausting event, to be honest with you. Like, you do not get a whole lot of sleep. Well, yeah, J-Lo just made a comment, had no clue what his yardages were. And we're out there trying to compete, right? So hopefully they learn from some of the things that other people have said, and they sort of have a little bit of better idea of how stuff's going to carry on the course, and they're going to have to putt.
But it also, it's like an environment issue, right? You're out there in the desert. The ball is going to carry further regardless, right? So you already take that in mind. So, yeah, you're guessing, right? So safe play is you take everything and hit it 3/4.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, one of the things that I would do is, and the caddies are great, but the members play the course all the time. Okay, you're not going to get a read. Like Finley did not give me a read on any putts, even though he's played that place, right? If you're playing with a member host, they know the course better than anybody. It's just like me playing. It's just like the Ben Hogan experience when Mike and I were non-playing captains. We knew because we played that course over and over and over again. We knew that they couldn't see it, but we knew, hey, this is going to break back toward the river, not the lake. And because we had played it a bunch, they have that advantage. But the playing host that you're playing with can give you a read, and if you have time, take a read from them, and that would be the other thing that I'd say from an advice standpoint.
Yeah,
no doubt.
So back to Sean's comment there. He talks about like the short game. You have to kind of think about the wedge game. All these guys are playing with new wedges. A lot of the zoo crew, they're playing with wedges that they've played with and different things of that nature. I mean, that's a big part of this. And a lot of these strokes are going to come down to putting and chipping, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's a big advantage for sure. When you think about those new clubs, new grinds, like say, you could put the X grind into play, like you tried to, and have Roger Clinton say, put that down. But yeah, it's a big advantage.
But I think that's where these pairings have come into good. I mean, you've got with the balance, you've got some ball strikers in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paired with the mixed caps. I think that's where the balance will come out. And, I think putting wise, just from playing with a few of these guys and following them, yeah, it's going to be tough. But, I mean, I think it's the 50 yards and in, like, the half shots, 3/4 shots, especially on that grass out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a totally different, but it does tend to favor a little bit more forgiveness. It's not sopping wet, right? So you're not going to be laying.
Last year they caught rain, and they had to turn into some mudders, which actually I think helped Team THP.
I think they put a bubble around the course this year, so they won't have that issue.
Okay, so they're not going to play if they catch rain. So that's good, and I'm sure even if they do and they get called off, that course drains probably very, very well. I think that if I'm still looking at the pairings, I've got them up. Look, Luke's going to make everything he looks at. So that's that Big Sky, Jay Sizzle, and Big Sky are going to have to putt. You're going to have to get to the putting green. Like, do not fill yourself up on the sliders in the morning, because there's a couple of bad things that could happen. You don't want to be sitting over a big putt thinking I have to take a country. I need to find I need to find a bathroom station. Okay. You don't want that to happen. You don't want to have gastrointestinal issues while you're trying to make a putt to have a hole. Okay.
I think if you're that first pairing, right? Sizzle and Big Sky Irish, right?
Yes.
Sizzle, hit some balls, blah, 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 do some putting. Go have a glass of bamboo rum, a couple shots of Fireball, whatever it is, and get rolling. I mean, that's Sizzle's mainstay right there.
Look, I know. Look, I can tell Sizzle. Sizzle's got to be a Crown guy. He's from where I'm from, so get you a Crown and ginger ale. Something that's not going to upset the stomach if you go brown early, and just get out there and do what you do. And I think the other thing is that you can only control what you can control in these spots, whether or not it's Grandaddy, whether or not it's Morgan Cup or whatever. You can't control what's going on around you. You can't control what's going on in other matches, but you can control what you're doing in your match.
Yeah.
And that's one of the more important things. So as the blitzkrieg was happening to us, it was very reminiscent of like when the Germans like broke through Belgium and they were in Paris before the French even like realized it. This is what was happening. I know how this feels. Like these cats that had to roll out of Dunkirk because they got overrun. This is what was happening, and we were seeing it. We were seeing it live on our phones that everyone else is shitting the bed. Okay? You're going to have to block out that noise, okay, and try to get a point or a half a point out of your match. That's it. That's all you can do. You can't control what's going on.
Are you doing like one of these Happy Gilmore things? What was the guy? Something block bad?
In the History Channel.
Noise is you have to sort of block it out. And if things are going bad, and you're updating the forum, you're like, oh shit, what is going on in this other? You can't even think about that. Don't think about what's going on in the other matches. It'll end up killing you.
So what do you think how it stands if these matchups were to play? What do you look at for day one number right here? I mean, like what matches do you like THP or Grandaddy in?
God, I don't like to say I like Sizzle. Give me Sizzle in all three of his matches. I mean,
Sizzle's got magical shoes. He's gonna make magic happen.
Mama always said they were my magic shoes, and I've seen a picture of these shoes. I cannot wait until the forum sees them. The other one, like I told you before, I think that Jordan match is big. Like I'll take
Jordan. Jordan for sure.
You like Jordan there too. And if things broke out the right way, the McLovin, I like that McLovin pairing, by the way. I do. I like the McLovin machine. Right. I think that they're going to be able to putt. I think that they have, if you're looking at like a pairing situation where they have sort of a little bit of an advantage, Pete and Ethan go out against them, right? So Pete's an 11. He's probably a Hideaway, adjusted. He's probably going to play as a 13 because some of these are going to be course adjusted, right? So Finley against me was an adjusted 7. At the height, I mean that's seared in my memory. I have it in my shadow box actually.
Well, now I'm kind of backing on Sizzle now because I just realized his profile picture is like from LinkedIn or something, man.
Dude, I love the fact that he went with the LinkedIn. Everyone else is going with
LinkedIn. Really,
Sizzle is there for business. Okay, Sizzle is there to start the drink, and so I like that pairing. I like the McLovin pairing because I think that they can make hay against Ethan and Pete. And I really think we need the Jordan pairing to win. Okay, so can I get 9 points out of them? I don't know if Luke loses every match. I mean, so I think that in the Shamble format, the balance of the groups help us. Okay. I think when it goes to alternate, whatever version of alternate shot they're going to use, and if anybody can, if they posted that, I have not seen it.
While we're talking about this,
while I'm looking,
while we've got some people watching live. If you've got some questions that you'd like to ask, please type them in the live comments, and we'll answer any and all questions. So keep those questions coming. Here on the SteamYard live chat here. We'll answer any.
That was my bad. I'm trying to bring up the live thread again to just like refresh it. Because I kind of want to see the pairings. Well, not the pairings, but the format. I've seen the pairings. It looks like they're not going to switch. I like that. I'm a couple pages behind from a refresh standpoint, and I'm looking to see if anyone. That's a great picture, Lambda. Good job, Adam, on that. That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I think that you have to. We're taking comments now. Type in. If you're watching on YouTube, type in if you have anything for us. This is something new that we've tried for the first time to try to come live. Probably not the greatest idea while they're at Owls, but I mean, I felt that the live thread, we didn't post a whole bunch from Owls, so I figured it would be a little bit slower. This is actually doing a little bit better job.
the Beekner and Tomcat pairing, I'm digging.
Do you?
I'm digging it because I mean Tyler and Ian, that's what, a 5 and a 2.
I mean, I have a feeling that in the shamble format, that's going to be fine. And then it's going to look like Century Hack and Huddy and all.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
Hack reference.
But
Yeah.
Beekner's been all over the updating. Tomcat with the pops, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you got to get out. I mean, if there was if you played this thing 10 times, Zuku probably wins 9, right? Probably, but
not tonight.
Maybe not tomorrow. And maybe the balance.
Tomorrow they skate with them.
Yeah, maybe tonight we play with them. If they make putts, this could be anybody's ball game. Remember, last year's team jumped out big lead, 5-1, unable to hold on. Now, if they were able to get the 9-9, 10-8, 10-8, dude, 10-8, we are popping corks tomorrow.
We're popping bottles, baby.
Yeah, we're popping bottles if they get to 10-8. Come on, guys. Y'all can do this. And we'll see how it goes for them tomorrow, but they absolutely have a chance here. I know that I made them a big dog, and they should be. The Zoo Crew's won 5 or 6 of these things. We've only won this thing once, okay? And we won with it on the number, 15.5. It came down to Canadan and Harry's match.
I mean, look, anything can happen, all right? LSU's going to have a Heisman winner. So, I mean, like a quarterback.
Heisman winning quarterback, which.
So, I mean, dude, like, it's a crazy year.
Yeah, I love me some Joe Burrow. I have not seen – I'm going to make an assumption. They have not said what the 3 stanzas of tomorrow are going to be. They did announce the horse race. I'm going to assume that it's going to be very similar to what we've seen in the past, which is some sort of shamble to start, some sort of version of alternate shot in that second stanza, and then you're going to see best ball in the third. So, yeah, the balance of the teams will do this. It gives you a really good chance in the shamble format to pick up some points, and then in best ball, the pops for say someone like a Tomcat in best ball in a 9-hole match. What is he going to get? 15.
Pops are huge, man.
He is popping. He's popping every hole at least, and he's double popping on some.
Yeah.
You know, if someone could get with Tomcat like I did with Cobb and said, look, can you just punch a 7-iron 150 yards? Can we do that? Like, I mean, you know, in a run out, can we get that going? You know, and then he's breaking my alignment sticks and stuff, and I'm trying to wheel this in there. Look,
I was a Pats fan at the Morgan Cup, man. I mean, he was getting pops, and we steamrolled Stemmy and Striker. Like, you know, our 9-hole match, I think we were 5-4.
So we have some comments. Jay Luke's been the MVP of the Cult of 5 because there have been 5 people watching us. Says,
Cult of 5, I love it.
The Cult of 5. Putt and stay within yourself. Absolutely, putt and stay within yourself. Like, you've got to make putts. I mean, if you're gonna win the Grandaddy, you're gonna have to roll the rock, man. You're gonna have to get it to the hole and then let the chips fall because they're gonna putt. That's the one.
Yeah.
Everyone always asks me when I came back from my Grandaddy. Mike, you asked me what is the one thing that shocked you the most during the competition, and what did I say? They make putts. They make everything. Okay,
they don't give putts. Like
J. Luke, you're watching right now. Hole 1 of my singles match. Okay, I almost chip in for birdie. Okay, make par. Finley proceeds to drain a 25-footer from the fringe for birdie, down 1. I think he felt it in the cart. My entire demeanor sort of just shrunk. Like, I'm like,
that's where the 25-footer from the fringe, that's where you imploded.
Or like Ben Hogan event where Bill is draining everything. Like the guy that's popping on every hole, the 24 capper, Ben Hogan, is making putts from everywhere.
That's where I like Tomcat and Beekner, man.
It's because I was giving them reads.
Right, but they're gonna have caddies to give them reads. They're gonna have
disheartening.
Yeah, look, Bruce is proud to be one of the 5. The Cult of 5 came on live watching the stream, and actually the live thread has slowed down because there's a lot of drinking and camaraderie going on at Al's house. This is why we did this live. But I didn't really want to post it in the main thread and take away from it. Yeah, you know what, Bruce? We are proud that you're one of the 5. Cult of 5. Yeah, and then there's J. Lou saying, yeah, it was so disheartening because I had made a great up and down to save par on 1, thought I was going to get a half there, and then Finley just put a dagger in me. And I don't think I was ever right after that.
Was it a net? Was it like a net birdie or just a straight up?
No. Neither of us were popping. Remember, he's only – let's see. He only –
right?
I only got like 3 aside from him. I think I got 3 on the front and 2 on the back.
Okay.
You know, yeah, Bruce is talking about putting again. You know, Army putted lights out. Yes. If you get a hot putter, you can win these events, okay? And if this team can putt, they have a chance to win even with, they didn't go really – I'm not going to lie to you. I would have went more gimmicky with these pairings. Would have made – yeah, okay, J. Lou's calling it a dagger. It was absolutely a dagger. Like – at that point, it was like, okay, let's see if we – but you know what? The sad thing is, and he'll tell you, when the match was closed out, I actually started hitting good golf shots when it was over.
Pressure's off.
Yeah, because the pressure was off, and I was just enjoying the moment. And Al put his arm around me and sort of like double patted and said, "It's going to be all right, son. Da 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 da. It's not the end of the world." And then he would wave someone with a drink, and then like almost every hole after 12, drinks were coming in. And I was absolutely lit before we left there. They have to be able to putt, and it's not an easy place to make putts. That's the other thing. It's not. These things are going to be cut and rolled. Like
there's a couple of things kind of working against them. I mean, you got a new putter, that you're trying to trust and get used to, and these tricky greens, that are probably pretty quick, are a lot quicker than what they're used to. Again, I've never played in it. I would recommend going out and spending, hitting the putting green right away. So I mean, look, we're a big shot of tequila from J-Lo there.
We
put that up there.
We shot tequila at the turn.
There we go.
Now, look, I made a I don't know how long it was, like a 30-foot. I made a 30-foot slider, like downhill slider, to cut the lead to 6 on 9. And it was
stop the bleeding temporarily.
Yeah, it was the only like fist pump that I had this entire match against Finley, and AJ even hugged me on the green as we were walking back, and he's like, "Let's go. You got you can grind this." And then I proceeded.
Was it an embrace like CPG and his third wife when her cigarette?
Well, the thing was that J. Lou was like, "Dax, if that did not go in the hole, it was gonna run off the green." Like I had hit this thing with authority. Like I mean, it was
tigered it in.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hey, look!" I even walked it in and did like one of these tiger like fist pump. I hit it, and I started because I was really walking after it because I thought it was like gonna roll off the green, right? I thought it would run all the way off, so I was just gonna make my walk, and then I realized that it was tracking and had a chance, and then I just did a fist pump and let out just emotion poured out of me because I had not won a hole in a long time, and then I proceeded to lose it on 12. Although I did have a 4-footer on 12 that I sort of pushed and to extend the match, whatever. Like, I mean, he didn't get. That's the other thing. Wait, I just remembered this. They're not going to give you any quarter. You do not get 4-footers from these people. They're not going to give you putts.
Well, I'm never going to give you a 4-footer again.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Right. I mean, but if I'm with someone that gets like, how like you sort of easing in, like sometimes like early in the round, even in the competitive competitions, like it's friendly. 3-footer, that's good. Let's move on to the next hole. Nuh-uh. There's no good. You're gonna have to hold these putts out.
So
do you have the flat cake grip on this putter?
No. It was the two-line Lampkin. Yeah.
Moral of the story is right. Everybody take a shot before the round tomorrow.
Yeah, loose. I mean, I think the looseness. I think that you can get too tight. This pairing has a chance though. So if I'm going to go back to our predictions.
Yeah, let's talk about predictions.
We'll wrap it up here. We're going to wrap this up and talk about predictions, and then maybe we'll come back tomorrow night and talk about 10-8 us.
Yeah.
Could be.
Right, 10-8 us, dude. Tomorrow night's going to be lit. The Cult of 5.
Just get the shoot ready.
Yeah, we're going to be lit if it's 10-8 us tomorrow. So you need to tell all your friends, go on the forum and say, hey, this was great. That we followed along live.
Oh, you magic. He says, didn't see format listed, but JB did say that Grandaddy 2020. So I'm rooting for the guy.
Boom.
That's the best news all day.
Yeah.
Right. Grandaddy will be back. Last year we sweated that out. Remember?
Yeah, we sweated out for about a month. So
right. My favorite event, no doubt. So formats didn't, Sean's telling us formats didn't get lucid. I'm rooting for our guys. So much stacked against them. New clubs, new course, new putters, new balls. Yes. Everything is stacked against them. So let me go back to my prediction. I love this new format we got going on.
I love the setup. Good setup, JDax.
So, I mean, can you pick us here?
I can.
I want to.
It's a live dog.
So let's go around. I'll make my prediction at the end, based on what I saw today. That the line's going to change tonight. It's going to move in our favor a little bit. I mean, I don't think they're a 9-1 favorite.
All right, Chef, who you got?
I'll take you THP squeaking out on the last day.
So, what do you think tomorrow? Do you think that we're here tomorrow night, the three of us, and it's 10-8 us?
Absolutely. And my bold prediction will be that 2 THPers will go 3-0 in their matches.
Okay. Who's your MVP tomorrow? Or for the event? Go ahead and call him MVP.
I'm going with my boy Sizzle. I mean, he's got the magic shoes. The boy, he sat on a horseshoe this year or something, and it's embedded in his ass because the guy's just won all year long, right? And Sizzle throw you a bamboo rum from our match at Blue Jack, but I'm going Sizzle.
All right, Mike. What's your prediction?
Man, it's hard to pick against Team Callaway. I mean, like you said, they won this thing 5 out of 6 years, but it's also hard to pick against my boys on the THP forum. So I'm gonna get crazy, and I'm gonna pick Team THP to win this thing this year, and I'm going Jordan for MVP.
Okay. So that's 2 picks for us. Okay. So I'm gonna be the guy that pisses in the Cheerios. I will never pick against Finley. I won't pick against him. He's the captain this time. Give me the Zoo Crew closer than the experts think. Well, I mean, dude.
You going to see now over there?
No, I'm not going to see now. I'm picking the Zoo Crew. Based
Force of nature, I think is what I've heard you reference it as.
Dude, I mean, look, I would take Finley against anything. I would take Finley against a hurricane named Finley. I've seen that force of nature up close and personal.
Don't do it, Dax.
Don't do it. Give me the Zoo Crew close. Tomorrow, dude. Second singles is gonna matter. Okay, we're gonna be here tomorrow trying to will. My heart is telling me to pick Team THP. My head's like, dude, you cannot pick against the Zoo Crew. It's how those bottom thirds are gonna perform. And then we'll see what they do with the singles pairings tomorrow. Unfortunately, I agree with Jay. Unfortunately, I think in the end, it's just too much. I don't think that we get enough points. I don't think it goes 10.5 to 7.5 us, which would be phenomenal. 10-8. I think that we're looking at 11-7. And if we're looking at 11-7 them, that is a tough hole to climb out of. My pick for MVP, though. Look, man, I'm gonna go with Sizzle. Sizzle's one of the few people. Remember, I told you earlier, only 80 people or so know what it's like to play in a Grandaddy. Even fewer than that know what it's like to play in a Grandaddy and a Morgan Cup. So obviously the guy has got a horseshoe. Obviously the guy can shit in a swinging bucket. And so if that's the case, then he's going to rein in putts, and Sizzle's going to go 4-0, and we're going to be talking about Sizzle being the MVP of this thing. But yeah, at the end of the day, I cannot pick against Finley. He's a force of nature. Can't do it. Can't. I won't do it. I mean,
you poor thing. Show me where Finley hurt you.
Do you want to talk about it, Dag? 2 years later. Now, look, here's the thing. Finley didn't play singles last year. So, like there hasn't been another victim to commiserate with me. I was hoping to pick one up off of last year's team where it would have been a little bit more, but he set out singles. And so I'm still the last guy that he skull dragged all around the hideaway, through the die course. It was great. It was a fun time, great times. But that's it, man. We are going to be back tomorrow. You Cult of 5. Love y'all for
yes.
coming in.
Thank you, Bruce, J. Lou.
So we're going to be probably same bat time, same bat channel. Probably. We'll go live while they're at the nest. There's not so probably the same time for us. Not a lot of updating occurs at the nest except for like the obligatory pictures with the clown and stuff. So let's do it. I hope it's us, but I think it's going to be the Zucker.
Peace out, guys.
Peace out, guys. Thanks for playing.